Hey everyone, how's it going? I know you haven't seen my beautiful face in a very long time. Been behind the camera, recording footage and, gameplay videos and whatnot. Sorry about that. You guys know I'm still working through my 2016 backlog. Yippity-yah, it's great news, everything's going well, and I'm actually getting through games quite quickly. But this isn't what that video is about. I want to kind of give a small update about what's going on with the channel, the progress, and some of the stuff I have planned, as well as give some updates and start updating you guys on E3. E3's coming up fairly quickly. Here we are in March already. We're just almost done with the first quarter of the year. It's insane how fast time is moving, and that's both a good and a bad thing. But let me discuss something with you guys very quickly. Regarding E3. So as you all know, E3 is actually open to the public for the first time this year. You can actually go ahead and buy tickets. You don't need to be part of an organization or being part of a game journalist or have a YouTube channel really where you would actually get credit for going in because you're part of the industry or you're just covering the industry and whatnot. You can actually buy a ticket and attend E3 for the first time. Now, there's a kind of a mixed feeling on that. I kind of go with both sides because on one hand, it allows people who are really interested in games like myself and a lot of other people who just don't necessarily have like an avenue that's strong enough to be considered, industry credentials to be let into E3. You guys know I was trying to get into E3 for the past, 3-4 years, and I wasn't able to get in until this past E3. This past E3 was my first time actually attending, and I wasn't able to get in more or less because I just didn't have a strong enough presence and following here on YouTube, and luckily I made the cut last year. So it was a lot easier this year, and I'm proud to announce that yes, I have purchased a ticket for E3 2017. I am good to go. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm very excited, all right? I'm also in the process of getting Jacob a ticket as well. It'd be nice to actually have him along with me this time because then he could actually record me playing footage or record me playing games, and that would be footage as I sort of go in the background talking about the gameplay and whatnot. That would actually be really helpful if he came along. So I'm working to make sure that he gets a ticket as well. And to be honest, I was actually very surprised that the E3 tickets didn't sell out as quickly as they did. They pretty basically said that only 15,000 tickets were available. The first 1,000 were at a discounted price of $150, I believe, with the remaining tickets being sold at $250. Now, there's kind of two sides to the coin. There's a lot of people who are excited and, who are going to be going to this E3 for the very first time. I think that the crowds are going to be a lot more wild than they were the last year and the years before, especially because you're going to have a bunch of people there who don't necessarily are there to, sort of talk with the developers and learn kind of what they're trying to convey in their game, but more or less just play games early, and that's sort of the other side of this coin here, where it's a big drawback. Opening E3 to the public could also be considered a mistake because now you're going to have kids kind of running around trying to get in, and by kids, obviously you have to be 18 years or older to attend the event, but you're going to have a lot of people here who don't necessarily care about gaming the way that I do or that you may do, and just want to go ahead and play their favorite games early. And that's not okay. E3 should be an event where you actually talk with the developers and discuss their points of interest in game development and engage with an audience and with the creators and just really have this great interactive time. It shouldn't just be about, well, I'm really excited for this game, let me just go ahead and play this game early and jump in line 3 times, because there's going to be those people who are going to do that, who are just going to go to E3 and just want to play the games that they don't give a shit really about games in general. So it kind of sucks in that respect. I don't fully understand why E3 was open to the public all of a sudden. This may be a little bit of a test that they're doing this year to see, okay, can we gain more attraction? Are more people going to come to our event now? Is that going to mean more money, more advertising and whatnot? And that could be a positive and negative thing. A positive thing for the business of E3, but a negative thing for the consumers, the journalists, and the industry leaders and whatnot who are actually using this event to do their job and to convey or show off their brand new game, and talk with the journalists and have the journalists talk with the developers and really try to understand the point of view perspective of the developers and what they're trying to do with their brand new game. So it's going to be kind of a mixed bag. It's going to be very interesting. On one hand, it's nice because it's really easy to get in now, and $250, to be honest, a lot of people are screaming over that, but I remember that E3 tickets, because you could still buy E3 tickets, but they're $800 or $900 at the time. So to be honest, $250, you're going to be at the focal point of all of the industries, video games and whatnot. You're going to be there at the event, the E3. It's going to be interesting, how it turns out, and I wonder if the event is going to be a much larger event in scale, and it's probably still going to be hard to get in and play some of these games, because the lines are going to be much more longer than they were last year, I'm telling you that. So I'm preparing myself, but I just want to let you guys know, yes, I am confirmed to be going to E3 2017. It's going to be similar to last year. However, I really plan to sort of up the amount of quality and also show off some more, I guess, a more personal take on the E3 experience. Last year I was sort of by myself, so it was more about me venturing off into the unknown, into the wild, more or less, and then just going about my day trying to figure out, okay, what's going on here. And I did the best I could with trying to plan what I wanted to plan. I more or less saw I more or less saw 90% of what I really wanted to see at E3, and that really surprised me, because going to CES, which was a much larger event, about 2, 3, maybe even 4 times larger than E3, I wasn't able to see anything that I really wanted to. Yeah, I saw a big portion, but a big portion is like 40% of really everything that I really wanted to see. So it's going to be very interesting how this E3 is handled. I hope to have it be just as successful as last year, but then just do it on a much bigger scale. I want to record videos for you guys, a personal, walking around the event, sort of a personal take on what it's like attending the event. Because I know, even though it's open to the public here, a lot of people still aren't able to go, because it's like, well, shit, I live a couple states over, from California, and I can't afford E3, an E3 ticket, and then afford a plane flight all the way over there. It's going to be interesting. Probably going to meet with some of my friends as well, same people from last year, so it's going to be nice seeing them again, and we'll go on from there. So that being said, I just want to give you the update on E3 first and foremost. That's like really the main meat of why I'm doing this video. I'm going to be contacting the publishers, Sony, Microsoft, Bethesda, yada yada yada, about their press conference passes. Now, Microsoft already sent me an email and said they're going to be having theirs held on Sunday, and I was wondering, whether or not that means that I'm automatically in, because they never actually contacted me directly. I've always had to contact them and then ask, and they're like, oh yeah, sure, here's an invite. This time they actually contacted me and said, no, we're moving our press conference a day before. We'll update you with details the further we go. So I'm wondering if this means like I'm on the list, to be like confirmed to be going to the Microsoft press conference. It would be nice to do that. Sorry about that, guys. Just had a quick phone call. So it would be nice to actually do that, to go to those press conferences on a much more easier scale. But I do plan to actually contact everyone towards the end of this month, rather, about their press conference information. And hopefully, I'm going to be working with a couple of my friends to try and get emails and direct contact information, because it's very hard to get the emails belonging to the right people. You can always send something to their HR department, but very rarely does it ever actually come to fruition to actually find someone in that HR department who's like, oh yeah, I'll help you out. It's very hard to find the emails. So following this, I also want to talk about the 2016 backlog and how that is going. So I feel terrible. I'm sort of at like two different sides here, because I feel like shit, it sucks for you guys, because there's like zero interesting content out at all on the channel. It's just like, well, he's doing impressions and videos for older games that we've all played or that we have no interest in, and it just sucks. And I understand that some of you guys just don't care. There's that audience that just like, oh, I enjoy your opinion on games, so I just don't give a shit. But there's other people who are like, well, I want to see you play Horizon Zero Dawn. I want to see you play Neo. What about Resident Evil? Oh, come on, Nier Automata that's coming up. Mass Effect, all these games, and I'm just like, I'll get to them when I get to them. Most people in my situation wouldn't care and don't care about whether or not, they get through their backlog. It's sort of like, yeah, I have a backlog, it sucks. I'm not like that. And I need everyone to sort of understand that. I know it sucks, but I'm not like that. When I play games, I'm not sitting there to just, waste time and enjoy myself. I actually do care about the experience, and I want to make sure that I'm sitting here and I'm enjoying the game. I have a clear mind and thought process, and that I'm going in with something that, I'm really, really looking forward to, and that I actually have a genuine interest in playing. Or something that's new and exciting that I just have no idea what to expect, but it matters to me what I play, and it matters to me that I play my games. I don't want to be that person who has like stacks and stacks of video games, and it's like, oh yeah, I played about, just a handful of them. I dabble here, I'll go back sometime, sometime I'll go back and play through them. No, I don't want to do that. The reason I'm doing this to myself is because I want, it's sort of like a statement, it's really for myself, but it's also sort of, I guess, a statement that, listen, if you're patient and if you're willing, you don't have to have a backlog. Sure, it happens, and it's bound to happen if you're, really into playing games, but you can, if you spend the time and you actually do want to get it done, you can get through your backlog. And for me personally, it's a way to sit there and say, well, now I don't have anything resting on my plate here, I can move on to the next course. I'm just one of those people, and this doesn't just, happen for video games. This just applies to anything that I do. I've always been one of those people who doesn't like to start something without finishing what I'm working on. And I'm like this at work too. I won't go on my lunch break at work if I don't get everything done that I'm supposed to do in that moment. Seriously, like I just have this mindset, and not everyone is like that. People are like, no, I'm hungry, I'm gonna go to lunch. Who cares? I'll finish it when I get done. I seriously just, there's something in me that prevents me from moving forward without finishing what I have started previously. And it's both a gift and a curse, because you can be stuck on something for a very long time in the past, like I am now, and then you have all this stuff accumulating in the future that you need to do. But at the same time, it can also be useful because rather than just jumping from project to project, in this case, game to game to game, I am spending time playing the games that I and eventually have to play at one point, and that way I don't have anything lingering in the background that's sort of hanging over the top of my head saying, hello, you gotta play this. It's not anything like that. So that being said, I just hope that you guys understand it from that perspective. I know it sucks, but it's only temporary, and that's really just the bottom line here. It's only temporary. I hope to get through my backlog at the end of this month completely. I have only a handful of games. I think I have Dark Souls 3, Far Cry Primal, the Technomancer I do want to get through, and Inside, the indie game, Last Guardian, Titanfall 2, which I'm actually playing right now, and I think Final Fantasy 15. Now, of those games, there's like 2 or 3 of them that are very long games that I may just kind of hold off as like a maybe till the summer. Like Final Fantasy 15, I honestly was waiting for that game to get fixed with this upcoming PlayStation 4 Pro patch, and it didn't do jack shit. They actually made the game worse in a lot of respects, just uncapped the frame rate, and now the game with VSync engaged has frame time spikes like this on the chart, and it's very infuriating because now the experience is terrible. So I don't know whether I'll even go back to Final Fantasy 15 on PS4, or if I'll wait for this PC version that we've actually been hearing, stuff about. I don't know what's going to go on with that game. I honestly don't know. So that may be crossed out, and I know that Dark Souls 3 is an extremely long game, but that is something that I do want to play and something I will put the time and effort into. And I doubt it's going to take me as long as it took me to beat Bloodborne, because I have more time on my hands this time around, and I'm also more experienced this time around when it comes to those type of style of games. So when it comes down to it, I just wanted to say I am sorry for you know, the whole backlog thing, but I also wanted to give you guys an update on E3. I am going this year for sure, and that being said, I also am going to be contacting the press conference guys, Sony, Microsoft, Bethesda, EA, blah, 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 the other guys, come the end of this month. I am still also trying to apply to game development jobs. I actually have a recruiter who's kind of looking for some stuff with me right now, and hopefully that will happen very soon. I plan to actually get involved in the gaming industry and basically start my career, or basically get on the path rather, to become a narrative director and or creative director for games in the near future, and hopefully, you know, I get on that path and I can start working towards that, because there's a lot of these game developers who start when they're around my age, and I don't want to be sitting here at 28 years old, you know, being like, well, I'm still trying to get in, you know. Then it comes to a point where you're like, you're old now. So that being said, thank you guys so much for your patience. I really do appreciate that. Be excited for E3, because I am looking forward to playing all the cool games, as well as, you know, seeing a bunch of my friends and other fellow YouTubers out here, and covering it for you guys. So that being said, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will catch you all later. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. All right, thank you all, and have a fantastic day. Talk to you later. 0